So welcome back to my channel. This is me, Mark, and today we will talk about something which startup founders like to be. It's a place where there is a lot of convergence between minds, networking, and definitely a lot of funding. And this is a place in America where we call it the Silicon Valley. Now I was thinking about it because I am studying AI and machine learning and coding and whatnot. It's not an easy subject. It's difficult, it's tenacious, it requires a lot of patience and focus. But I do have to persist. We have to persist because, well, there's no pain, there's no gain, actually.
No pain, no gain.
So I was thinking about it, and what if I start my own tech company? Where am I going to launch it? How am I going to launch it? So I was thinking about Silicon Valley.
Another new startup company.
In Silicon Valley?
I did my research. There's a lot of successful startups actually starting in Silicon Valley. And what I'm thinking is that, there's a lot of connections in there. And as a brief background, actually, Silicon Valley is a place in America. It's located in Southern California and it's bounded by cities, the largest of which is San Jose, spanning up to, I think, Palo Alto, up to the northern part of the southern San Francisco. So it's where Google is housed, Apple is housed in Cupertino, and all the, majority of the big tech hubs out there. That's where they are. Historically, I tried to read a little bit about Silicon Valley, and it started in the 1940s when there's a professor, his name is, I think, Professor Tiernan, who advised students to start up their own companies. And there goes this Fairchild semiconductor company, wherein there are about 8 founders, and they resigned the company and they set up their own tech company in the Silicon Valley. And back 2-3 decades later, then we have these venture capitalists, and to as of now, it's Silicon Valley in 2025. So I think Silicon Valley is a place where, if you have a good idea, it's the best place to go there because, you don't have to use LinkedIn or try to chase them half the way around the world just to get their connections. So it's just, you can just go to one building to another. You can get some connections in there. So I think that's actually what Silicon Valley is. And I think the secret is actually there's a good community, sprawling community of startup founders there, where they help one another to build their own techs. And I think that's the reason why that in other countries it's hard to create a startup. You need to have a very tenacious character and a lot of luck. Yeah. However, I'm asking myself a question actually. Why does the UK does not have their own Silicon Valley yet? I know Silicon Valley is a term. But yeah. So I was reading I was actually listening to some blogs a week ago, and I think there are some factors why not yet. Actually, there's a proposed Silicon Valley in the UK. It's located in between the two great universities in Oxford and Cambridge. So between that area is actually the proposed Silicon Valley is actually an arc. So if Cambridge is here, Oxford is here, there's actually an arch there, and that arch will be the proposed Silicon Valley. I think for Silicon Valley, unlike the America, they have this venture capitalists, which is actually very, very eager to provide funding. We have the Sequoia, we have the Andreessen venture capital, amongst the best ones out there. We still do have here in the UK, but not as big as in America. I think one factor here is that's similar to America is that I believe that the UK has the brains to have a good startup actually. But I do think is that the startup needs to have this startup culture, whereas we're still in the process of having this startup culture in the UK, where in America it's already been established long before. And the second one, I think, is there needs to be a funding hub. So the funding hub, as I mentioned earlier, we have this big venture capital in America, and we don't really have it here as compared to America. And number 3 is I think the connection base. So the connection base are kind of loose in this area. So if you're gonna bridge that gap, the mind gap between these two areas in Cambridge and Oxford, wherein companies will start to sprout like mushrooms in the area, I think there's a good chance that we can have our own Silicon Valley in the future. What do you think about starting a Silicon Valley in the UK? Is it a good proposition or otherwise? Yeah, I mean, you be the judge. So yeah, well, thank you again for listening. It's just my vlog moments for the day as I continue to vlog, well, almost every day as much as I can. Yeah, so if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and see you next video. So bye for now again, and see you in the next video.